Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We've all done it, right? Daisy chaining extension cords during the holidays, or maybe plugging 3 hair dryers into a single bathroom power strip. And we do it completely unaware that we're essentially building a slow-cooking heating element right inside our walls. Today, we're going to absolutely dismantle a really common and honestly very dangerous electrical safety myth. Because when an extension cord inevitably fails, or worse, actually melts, the explanation we usually get is just, well, it's entirely incomplete. We aren't just talking about overloaded wires today. We're going to look at the entire thermal system of an extension cord to see exactly what goes wrong, literally down to the microscopic level.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll bust the overload myth, then dive into the actual physics of heat, pinpoint the exact mechanical weak spots where these cords fail, track the whole failure loop, and finally wrap up with the hidden hazards and safety takeaways to keep your home safe. Let's get right into it.
Starting with Section 1, the overload myth.
You know, if you watch most DIY or electrical safety channels, they usually explain extension cord failures using a really simplistic narrative. They'll just tell you, hey, too many appliances on one cord causes overheating, they point to a trip breaker or a melted wire, and they just leave it at that. But they're missing a massive piece of the puzzle. To put it clearly, what actually melts an extension cord isn't just too many appliances, it's where the current is forced through tiny hidden resistance points you never even see. When you plug in multiple high-power devices, the system absolutely does not fail evenly. There's this invisible threat hiding right in plain sight, and understanding it is going to completely change how you look at the power strips in your own home.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the contrast between what we read and what actually matters. Look at the packaging of any extension cord, and you'll see a rated current, like, say, 15 amps. But that's just a maximum load number. What actually dictates if your house stays safe is its continuous thermal dissipation capacity, which I know sounds like a fancy way of saying it, but it just means how well can this entire system shed the heat it generates over time. We have to start treating the extension cord as a full thermal system, not just a dumb piece of wire carrying electricity.
Which brings us to Section 2, the physics of heat. To really grasp why an extension cord melts, we have to look at what electricity is actually doing inside that system. A fundamental rule of electricity is that it always finds resistance, and where it finds resistance, well, that resistance always becomes heat. Let's break down the core failure mechanism, which comes down to a really simple formula. P loss equals I squared times R. We call this I squared R heating. The I is the electrical current your appliances are pulling, and R is the electrical resistance in the cord. But here's the kicker. Because the current, that I in the equation, is squared, it's not a one-to-one relationship. If you double the power demand, you don't just double the heat, you literally quadruple it. Even a microscopic speck of resistance creates a massive localized heat wave.
So the crucial point is that heat does not just rise linearly. As you add current by, say, plugging in more of those hair dryers, the heat shoots up exponentially. It multiplies. The stress on the entire system compounds incredibly fast. This means small, seemingly harmless vulnerabilities in your extension cord are suddenly placed under an immense thermal load.
All right, Section 3, where cords actually fail.
If the heat is rising exponentially, where exactly is all that heat building up? Most people picture the entire long copper wire inside the rubber casing just glowing red hot and melting evenly all at once. But actually, scratch that. That is not what happens at all. The physical copper wire is rarely the first problem. The real culprits? They're the plug and socket interfaces. Think about that old loose wall socket you might have, where the plug feels just a little bit wobbly. That looseness, that's an air gap. And an air gap means massive resistance. Those tiny, degraded metal joints are carrying all the stress of your appliances. You add in thin-gauge internal conductors under a bundled load, or contacts that have become degraded and oxidized over the years, and you've got a perfect recipe for severe, localized heating.
And this brilliantly illustrates what's actually happening behind the scenes. If you just look at the visible damage after a failure, you'd probably assume the whole wire just got too hot. But point a thermal camera at a cord under a heavy load, and the truth is undeniable. The hottest zones almost never appear in the middle of the cable. No way. The thermal camera reality shows that hotspots always appear at the weak mechanical joints first, the plugs, the sockets, and the junctions. That right there is ground zero for your cord failure.
Moving on to Section 4, the failure progression loop.
So how does a slightly warm plug actually turn into a melted puddle of plastic? Well, it happens step by step, chronologically over a period of time. It starts with step 1. You turn on the appliances, and the current demand across the cord increases. Easy enough.
Step 2. Those tiny, small resistance points at the plug and socket begin that localized heating we talked about. But Step 3. Step 3 is where it gets incredibly dangerous. As the temperature rises, the heat actually causes the electrical resistance to increase even further. Higher resistance means even more heat is generated. This creates a vicious positive feedback loop. It's exactly like a runaway train. Once it leaves the station, the heat and resistance just keep accelerating each other.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because this runaway train eventually derails into total failure. In Step 4, that rapid thermal accumulation spreads outward from those metal contacts and just soaks into the plastic insulation. Then, in Step 5, the PVC housing of the cord begins to soften and physically deform, which can partially expose the internal conductors inside. Finally, by Step 6, the plastic is fully compromised, the live wires touch, and boom, you have an electrical arc and ignition. The whole shebang just gives out.
Finally, Section 5, Hidden Hazards and Safety.
All right, understanding the physics is great and all, but we really need to pivot to the practical, behavioral hazards that trigger this runaway thermal loop in everyday life. For starters, connecting multiple cyclic high-draw appliances like hair dryers is incredibly risky. They don't just pull a lot of power, they have high initial inrush currents and cause sustained heating as they constantly cycle on and off. Another massive hazard is coiling extension reels under load. Remember how we talked about thermal dissipation capacity? Well, when you leave a cord tightly coiled up while powering a heavy load, you are essentially baking the wire in its own little plastic oven. It entirely prevents convection cooling.
Which brings us to a really vital safety rule for your home. If you ever reach down and notice warmth at a plug or a socket, pay attention. That warmth is an early failure warning. It is definitely not normal operation. It's the invisible threat of exponential resistance finally showing its hand, signaling to you that the thermal feedback loop has already begun.
At the end of the day, this whole thing is a ticking clock. Fire risk in extension systems is almost never a sudden, instant overload event. It's more like an hourglass slowly filling up. It's a time-dependent thermal accumulation problem. It's a slow, methodical buildup of heat at those microscopic resistance points until the insulation simply can no longer survive the stress.
So, I'm going to leave you with this final thought today. The next time you plug in a heavy load, consider the entire thermal system. Is your extension cord tightly coiled in the corner? Are the plug blades looking old and degraded? Is your extension cord slowly building heat right now? Check your connections, uncoil those cables, and respect the invisible physics of heat. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and stay safe out there.